as a foreigner living in South Africa, the laws tend to be a bit difficult, especially when you need to get your documents right and all that. But the moment you do it right, you're in the system, and that's amazing. You have no problem. The problem we have is the people who are not legally documented, and that needs to be dealt with. I think that because the regulations, the laws keep changing almost every year, so people find it pretty difficult. I don't know. A lot of people say maybe they're trying to make it hard for foreigners to leave here. I don't think so in that way. But I think that if we have to say what are the problems that Nigerians are facing here in South Africa, would be following the process of legal documentation and all of that. So basically, in the industry, I would say yes, there's still some things here and there, like she's Nigerian, we can't give her the job. He's Nigerian, we can't give him the job, and blah blah blah. Of course, language barrier and all of that. So I think that's a normal thing, but there are some extreme cases where it is thrown in your face, like, you're a foreigner, we can't let you do this even though you're qualified for it and stuff like that. But what do? You can't fight it. Yeah. The last xenophobic attack, that was pretty scary, because I think that was more intense than the previous experiences that we've had with xenophobic attacks. Last year, 2019, the attacks were really a bit intense in certain areas. So what I did, and what most of us did, was just to stay away from those affected areas. And and you're safe as long as you're not involved in anything shady, anything that would get you in trouble and stuff like that. But the fact that we had to stay indoors for a few days, just to get yourself off the street, and not, because there were some people that took it extreme. If they discovered that you're not a South African, you can get hurt, and all of that. So, but I can tell you that we just did our best to stay away from the areas that were affected, and the people that would go into taxis tried not to go into taxis, because some people took it to the extreme. And they took it to the extreme by, when they talk to you and you can't respond in the language, that's how they discover and find out that you are not South African. And then they tend to want to attack you and stuff like that. But I must say that it was not just against Nigerians. It was against, other foreign nationals also. Zimbabweans, Congolese, Ghanaians, Kenyans, and it was just not Nigerians, to be honest. And I actually think that the media blew the issue out of proportion, circulating fake pictures and fake news and all of that. It was actually blown out of proportion, because I would get calls about every day and be told, we are listening to the news right now and this is what we're hearing. I'm like, no, everything is fine. I'm walking on the street. I'm in my house. I'm in the mall. I'm doing my thing, and nothing of such is happening. So I think that the media took it overboard. Fed the wrong information to Nigerians especially. And I think that Nigerians also now took it wrongly and retaliated and reacted, the way they took what was going on. And I must say that that the most people that were victims and killed in this in the last xenophobic attack, I can't tell you that there were lots of Nigerians that were affected. Actually, there were more South Africans that were actually more affected than foreign nationals. So it was made to look like oh, almost all the foreigners are being killed and being attacked and victimized and all of that. It was a whole lot of things going on at the same time. It was xenophobia, it was gender-based violence, it was just a whole lot of things, at the same time, but it was seen only as xenophobic attack. So I think that the media kind of took it overboard and fed wrong information most of the time, which was not true. And I had to keep explaining on phone calls, no, we're fine, we're good, it's not as bad as you people think. I mean, yes, things were destroyed, properties were destroyed, and people were hurt, and shops were vandalized, but now it was not against Nigerians alone. I think that's where we all got it wrong. It was just, attack generally on foreign nationals.